Okay, hi everyone. Had a little surprise balance there. Tempest is not here just yet due to a few technical issues, so I'm gonna be covering, but that's okay, because if things get better, Tempest will show up, and if not, you guys just get a little more time with me. It'll be okay. I think we'll all be just fine by the end of the night, regardless of which one happens. So, while I was gone, 2 donations came in, surprisingly. One from Noops for $25 and one from myself for $25. And Noops did not put a comment, but we said we'd do it, so here we go. $5 for each firework. Well, each time there were fireworks. Kit and Tempest. No, we don't need both of us. The world would be... Oh, the world's not ready for both of our untamed power together. But we've got a great run coming up. We've got some randomized Mario action, Super Mario Bros. 3 specifically. And you guys had a nice little poll to determine who RaikouRider was going to play as. And that is Peach. So you guys didn't get sick of seeing Peach during that run. So more Peach. Can't believe Noops forgot the 1,000 for the stamp. Oh man, you're right. We missed that one. Man, I guess I have to tell Noops he's not welcome back after all. No. As awesome as it would be to be able to throw that kind of money for the lizards and for just charity in general, most people are not feasible. Okay, I heard a voice for just a second, and then it disappeared, so I think we're fine. We can keep talking. We don't have to go just yet. So, I know I really enjoyed that run. I like watching Noops just play that one up on the side in the background, but it's so long, I don't think I could personally do it, unfortunately. Like, I don't know that I could sit and just, whew, you know? 2.5 hours for the shorter category. Like, the longer one is like 4 hours, I think. It's a lot. Or it's ghosts. All right, so I used to like not believe in ghosts, but when I was watching Rocky a couple of weeks ago, I was by myself. It was just me and Rocky, and all of a sudden I heard a noise in the dining room. And I was like really confused. I was like, where, what, you know, I was confused. And I looked up and I looked over and I didn't see anything. And Rocky also like perked to attention and looked over. So he heard it too, but nothing had moved, nothing, whatever. And then, the chair that my parents keep at the computer started to swivel, like just really slowly. But it was just like my cat had jumped up onto it like he always would before he laid down. Just that slow swivel. And again, like, you know, I'm not saying it was a ghost, but the chair has never moved on its own before. And all of a sudden, all I could think about was my dear sweet cat who passed away last year. So maybe, just maybe, I believe in ghosts. And especially thick fellow. Is Mort thick? Is that the lore? Okay, I have something to read. I don't have to talk about my poor sweet baby's ghost anymore. CJ has thrown in $10 to the pool, and he says, since Kid is doing overtime, here's something for you to read. Thank you, CJ. I like having things to read. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I do like to read very much. A lot of people go, oh, that's a text wall. I didn't read that. And I'm sitting here reading the whole thing. I don't read terms and conditions as well as I should. I skim them, but like, I'm the one who reads the text novels that everyone's like, what's the TLDR? Mort's a chonk noodle. Hey, give Mort another blueberry for us. He deserves it. Oh yeah, Potato, you weren't here. I was talking about like we should support our libraries more, and even if you prefer digital media, there's Libby and stuff, what you can do with your digital card. There's a lot of cool library things, and I just wish people in general read more and spent a little less time on screens, which is rich coming from me who spends almost all day on screens, but you know. Having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. Oh man, you guys have hit me to the point where I'm starting to get a little sleepy, so now I'll start doing goofy things like singing. Except I can't sing, so you guys just get ear torture instead. You can blame Quill for that one. Well, for the particular jingle, not for me being tired. Me being tired is because I stayed up until the end of the night last night, and then I also watched Taco for another like hour or two. Hardcover or paperback? Okay, so for me, it actually depends a little bit how big the book is. Because the problem is that a lot of the time with the really hefty books, like I'm talking the real thick books, people don't open them correctly, and then the paper comes out of the hard binding because they just, you know. And it's like if you do that with a softcover book, you crease the binding, right? And it still stays on, it's fine. But if you do it on a hardcover, it'll come right off the hardcover. And so in general, I like your average length book to be hardcover, but if it's a longer book, I prefer softcover because of how bad people are at taking care of the bigger, like thicker books. A problem. I don't know if that answer makes sense to you, Potato, but that's my honest thought on the matter. But also, I really just like books, so paperback, hardcover, digital, it don't matter. I'll read them anyway. Really crappy quality scanned uploads if I can't find it somewhere else sometimes. It's been a long time since I've read a book that way though. Well, okay, like a proper book. I've read like comics that way. Oh, but on a more important topic, it sounds like we are ready to get into our random chaos run here. So don't touch that dial. We're gonna play a small bumper and then we'll be live with the action. See you soon. All right, everybody. I promised we'd be back with some random chaos action. Here we are with RaikouRider along with their wonderful commentators, and I will let them go ahead and take it away and introduce their commentators.
Good evening, everybody. I am RaikouRider. I have been in part of several randomizer communities over the years, and this is one I'm super excited to showcase. Not a lot of attention towards the Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer, initially developed by Fred Coughlin, but now Macobra has taken the reins on this project and has turned it into what it is now. I've got a couple of veterans from the Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer community that will be largely handling the commentary. Demon Battler and Leslie Pro 04, both of which are also talented runners.
Thank you, Raikou. I appreciate that. I'm Leslie Pro. Hopefully you're all doing well, and I'm looking forward to seeing this showcase run. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And my name is Demon Battler, and just like Leslie said, I feel like this is going to be a fun run to watch right here.
Okay, hopefully Boss Bass will go hungry. We will see Elevator Fort, along with a couple of other fun things, including this nice title screen that all of you so graciously chose in the viewer's booth. But I think we should start to take it away. So we will get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So I am gonna let Leslie and Demon Battler take care of most of the commentary because this game is notoriously difficult and requires quite a bit of focus.
That it does, and we are opening off with Quicksand, the sand trap from World 2 on the World 3 map screen. More on that in a moment, but most importantly, Raikou is trying to avoid this little cheap that is going to try and pick him off. But he's able to do so just nicely.
So, to help give a little bit of understanding for anyone who's not familiar with the concept of a randomizer, basically for this game, a lot of things have been randomized. So the order of the worlds themselves have been randomized. This level set is this map is traditionally World 3, for example. The levels have been randomized and scattered about. The enemy sets have been randomized. The power-ups given in certain areas have been randomized, as well as the bosses and their hit points as well, among many other things.
With this flag set, though, we are running permanent Tanuki in a time attack setting, so every hit that Raikou takes will deduce up to 100 seconds from the timer. So a hit with under 100 seconds to go, and that's the equivalent of a death.
Yep, and unfortunately, because it's permanent Tanuki, that means that other power-ups will not be seeing play. And on top of that, even if he were to pick up a power-up, not only would he stay transformed as the Tanuki, but he will not gain any extra time back. So you are maxed out at 3 to 4 hits depending on the level at most. So you can't just damage boost through everything.
Absolutely, although to be fair, there are a few levels, such as Sand Trap that we ran into, that only have 200 seconds as a timer, so in that, you're in one hit and that's it mode. A second hit would be death.
So RaikouRider is actually checking through all of the pipes because in addition to the levels being randomized, the pipes have also done so. So depending on the layouts of the map, you can run into a pipe and basically find the end of the world immediately, or you could have to run through the entire world in order to find your way through.
I'm gonna take a death here. This is really disgusting that this level is here. Thankfully, we have another option.
Yeah, you see, the only option was 7-6. I mean, you could still use a P-Wing with this setup. It's just that the Tanuki suit would take P-Wing properties. But since we don't have one, the only option would be to try and clip that doorway, and that is a sub-pixel perfect clip.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea, and if you would be able to see it happen, it would be really fun, but it's definitely difficult. So, we're gonna just take the easy route and go around it. And this is actually a better stage for that anyway. This is the first tank stage in what is traditionally World 8. The community lovingly calls this the Army. And at the end of this level, RaikouRider is going to get an item, which hopefully will be something he can use aside from a regular power-up.
It is possible.
Any other day, that would be what you would want to see for Bowser's Castle. Just not today, unfortunately.
I do want to make a note that it is still possible to complete the clips as Tanuki or Raccoon Mario, but it is significantly more difficult and kind of luck-based-ish.
Yeah. Alright, RaikouRider showing off the secret of 1-3. Anyone who has seen the Wizard movie has probably seen this as well.
I'll take that, though. Now, we do have some very special messages at the end of each world, and I am going to stop for about 5-ish seconds after each world to let people read them. Some of the ones that are for Peach specifically are unique to this character. There's been a lot of care put into this randomizer.
Absolutely. Now, it's worth noting that where this particular stage is located normally doesn't have a stage. That's because extra level tiles can now show up in the randomizer instead of just 9 levels getting swapped out for beta levels.
And it looks like we are in the World 7 airship instead of World 3.
Very glad to have a tail for this one.
Oh yes, you definitely do not like messing with the corkscrews because you can sometimes slip through them and plummet to your death, and it is not fun.
Yep,
Welcome to NES
fair warning on the World 7 airship, it is a long way down.
Also, everybody get your commands in chat. We're going to be seeing a lot of them.
Yeah, another fun little detail is the King's messages will pop up and have random claims, and if you are a Tanuki, this message appears. And Mario sending a nice little love letter to Peach. So yeah, each world except for World 7, you typically would get a letter from the princess, and you receive an item. And in this case, because Peach is the one being played as the character, it actually flips the script and has Mario sending these messages.
Now we move from the seaside to Desert Hill, and our path is a bit of a forced draw here to start, as we have to play this fort. This is 4F1, often referenced as the Troll Fort.
Keeping track of your inventory is pretty important as well.
Yeah, so because of the way the flag set is applied here, the important items to go through are the P-Wing, which can allow RaikouRider to have infinite P-speed and basically fly freely through the levels, through a given level, and in some cases even avoid a level entirely. The Cloud, which allows RaikouRider to skip a stage, but if he dies in a level afterwards, then he actually ends up having to replay the level he skipped. The Hammer, which can usually break a rock, such as that on the left-hand side of the map right here, but in this flag set can also break the locks that appear from the forts, which in vanilla can't happen. And the only other item I could think of that is like super useful would be a star, which gives you temporary invincibility at the start of a level for probably about 5-6 seconds, I'd say. And that's about it. Everything else is usually like a generic power-up that is just going to get overwritten by the Tanuki suit.
Right. There's also the music box for those situations where you see a hammer bro, but you're like, more like hammer, no, I don't want to deal with you right now.
There we go, for example.
Wow, talk about good timing on that one.
Now, early on in the seed, I am going to be going out of my way for some of these hammer bros, just because it's more likely that you're going to get use out of items when you acquire them early on. We're really mostly looking for hammers, P-Wings, and clouds.
Hey, wait a minute. Is
Hey,
this even randomized?
I was about to say, anyone here ever get that feeling of deja vu?
So, the reference is, this is the pyramid stage, and this is actually in the exact spot that it traditionally is. So, usually, whenever a level ends up in the same spot, we'll usually refer to it as vanilla.
That we do.
So vanilla.
Indeed, so vanilla. Also, shoutouts to Uni from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, who also says, ever get that feeling of deja vu? Such a good game. But I digress. Anyway, World 3 Airship.
Thankfully, with the auto-scroll removed from most stages, these airships are usually pretty easy. 7 is normally the scariest one, but having a tail makes it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right, we forgot to mention that. So, yeah, the auto-scrollers have been turned off in this randomizer for all but 2 stages. One is 5-9, which is basically a level up in the clouds that you have to jump on platforms and avoid a couple of enemies. It can be a little bit difficult. And then they have what are called beta stages, which are a group of 8 stages that the developer, Fred, managed to actually modify. And in fact, we are in one of those right here. These were unfinished levels in the code that Fred was able to modify enough to turn into a completable stage. And one of the stages is lovingly referred to as Atlantis because it is an underwater auto-scroller that lasts about, I believe it's 1 minute and 6 seconds. And it is probably one of the longest things to have to play in this game.
Believe it or not, 7-6 played like naturally is longer.
We have a quick minute.
That would make sense.
Oh,
We have a quick minute for a quick little message here.
Go for it.
All right. First and foremost, I want to give a special thanks to Kit for holding the fort. But hey, friends, I'm finally here. It's your boy, Tempest Mask 1000, aka Steve, here to host for the rest of the run, just as God intended. So let's keep this thing rolling. And hi, Leslie. Fancy seeing you.
Yo, good to catch up with you again, Tempest. Hope things are going well.
Absolutely. Let's get this keeping going. Folks, I want to remind everybody that our goal right now at $1,500, we are almost there. We are only 50 away. Let's see if we can get that by the end of the day. I think that's easily possible right now. And that would make me so happy, because as a reminder, this is a stretch goal from our original $1,000 to help the new baby lizard of Sables to get the much needed tummy surgery that the little fella needs. So it would be absolutely epic if we can get that going. Chat, you know what to do. ! Donate, and you'll be taken to our Streamlabs page where you can make any contribution no matter how little or small. It is much appreciated from us. And with that, let's keep this train rolling. Back to you, Raikou.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Tempest.
This is one interesting setup we have in this World 5. It's pretty rare for the tower to be required. So the tower is a unique stage in the game in that it's not considered a stage or a fort. It's actually considered a pipe.
It's a very long pipe as well. In fact, ever since the current setup for the randomized maps took effect, it is very rare to even see the spiral tower in its vanilla tile set. And for it to be required, so you're all in for a treat.
Oh, this'll work. Get me out of here. If I have to play the tower,
place any better.
if I have to play the tower to be able to skip the whole upstairs of World 5, I'll do that any day.
Yep. So, because there wasn't a whole lot of time to look at the map itself on the high side, basically the idea is you're climbing the tower up into the sky, a la Jack and the Beanstalk, and you're basically traveling on the clouds in order to get to the castle.
Jack and the Beanstalk, I had never made that connection, and I've played this game since I was a kid.
I feel like that's always been there in my case, and I have actually played the Game Boy Advance version, if you can believe that.
Oh, the GBA
I
version's
can.
solid.
Absolutely. Now, if only I had that gosh darn e-reader that was hot back in the day.
I never got that one of those either. I only got to play those levels by way of Nintendo Switch Online.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure for others it was Wii U Virtual Console, which, hey, if that's how you played it, you're valid.
Meanwhile, we also all just got rickrolled by Mario. In the letter, it was never gonna give you up.
Okay, World 6, be nice to me, please.
So the thing with World 6 is that it can either be really short or really long, depending on how the pipes align, and in this case, well, let's see. It depends on what this fort does. Oh, it's Piranha Fort 7F2.
That helps.
Ugh. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully this fort's the one needed to open the bridge, because otherwise it's going to be real heartbreaking to have to play this level for nothing.
So this level is notorious for being one of the most...
No, I was just gonna... We were literally about to say the same thing. If I'm not mistaken, this is one of the tough, difficult levels, or annoying ones at least.
Yep. And unfortunately, because of that small hit right before that pipe at the end, couldn't go and do a damage boost through this part, because one more hit would be a death.
Not gonna lie, this is a good candidate for hardest level in the game.
I would agree. There are speedrunners that are at the highest levels can make 7F2 look super simple. It is not. It is a level where one missed input could lead to a lava bath.
Okay, at least I know where the fort is. Because when I was initially over here, I could not see where the fortress was. And unless there's a third fort in here, and I didn't see another lock.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, World 6, depending on the pipeline, can end up being one of the easiest worlds to go through, or it could be one of the longest, period. And thankfully the pipes are short, are going to make it short here, just a little annoying to open it up.
Yeah, because in another seed you could get an alignment where you have all 4 pipes close together. That does you no good.
Yep.
Oh, depending on the layout you get, this can take a while, but I would still say, even with all the going back and forth across the map, this will be a faster than average World 6.
I would agree.
Oh, yes. I love how they have that little pit right there for the pipe. Like, just to get you the first time around, where you just immediately run off instead of jump. Like, that's a mean little trick on the developer's part, and that's the vanilla developers at that.
Now, one thing about the Hammer Brothers that has been changed with this particular flag set is that they're not able to walk over pipes, spade cards, levels, or forts. So things such as the Hammer Bro Marathon, aka Northman Special, you're not going to see that.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I can't stand hammer dances.
Yeah, I think the longest one anyone has, like, of a recorded one is something like, I think like 1 minute and 44 seconds or something like that. Like, it was a ridiculously long chain.
Oh, gosh.
Usually they're
Yes.
in Worlds 5 or 6.
Yeah, so the way that works is that where Iggy is, the ball is always somewhat in the floor, or in some cases, Iggy himself is in the floor. Meanwhile, we got World 7, and it looks like our opening round is a forced draw, but this could be a free world. Oh boy.
Well, the final island has been found right away, which is good, but yeah, not only do we have a lock, which hopefully that fort we saw will be the answer, but a forced 6-6. This is, I want to say, not necessarily one of the hardest levels, but it can easily be one of the most frustrating, mostly due to these little bloopers and blooper nannies, as we call them, because it slows the level down amazingly with lag, and it's just a lot of enemies you have to watch out for.
I also do want to point out that we have some non-vanilla functionality with the tail. The tail swipe attack can be used underwater with this flag set, and it really raises the value of having a tail underwater instead of having firepower.
Yeah, in terms of value, the tail is underwater. It functions basically like the cape in Super Mario World in terms of functionality, and that's very handy to have underwater, especially in a level like 6-6.
Oh yeah.
Just any level where nanny bloopers are going to be an issue.
And right now, Rai is running through the World 2 fort, aka Spike Fort.
Okay, it would be really nice if this opened the lock.
Survey says.
Of course not. Alright. Alright, time for everybody's favorite part of World 7 is the hunt for the... It's either the hunt for the Promised Land or the hunt for the fort that opens the way to the Promised Land.
Yep. So if you play this game, if you would play this game vanilla, the game itself actually refers to this world as the Pipe Maze, and this, even though this is randomized right here, the reality is you know exactly why it's called that, even in the regular gameplay, because you end up having to go through all 4 islands. Anyway.
Good save on that.
And a good P-Wing pickup, too, so that'll be kind of useful.
Of course. That pipe is just the biggest tease in the game, I swear.
Yep. The Room of the View is the biggest troll thing. Probably the second. Actually, no, I'd say that's probably the biggest troll outside of, like, even more so than the secret pit at the end of 5 Fort 2.
Okay, there we go. There's where we need to be.
So 6-4 and with a fire enemy set. Ugh.
Yeah, as usual, an enemy set that has a very high tendency of causing lag in that early part of the stage. I mean, the stage will lag a bit in vanilla with Goombas, but the fire enemy set just seems to exasperate it for some reason.
Oh, this is one other nice benefit of having permanent tail.
Oh yeah. So this is 7 Fort 1, or as we like to collectively call it, Fort Knox. The reason is because you not only in normal cases you have to get a tail to fly up like Rai just did, but part of it is you have to hit a P-wing, or you have to hit a certain P-switch in order to turn all of those blocks into coins, and then you find a secret room to get a Tanuki suit out of it.
So anybody who played this game as a kid probably is familiar with the joy of just falling through that mess of coins over and over again until you max your lives.
As well as the frustration, in my case, of being unable to figure out the level and needing to have Mom call the Nintendo Power Hotline. I'm not kidding about that, by the way. That was an entire thing, but I'm not going to get into it now because I don't want to take away from the marathon. Oh, look, we got another stage. Great for a tail in 7-2.
Yep. So right here, if you were to fall down into that pit and try to jump back up, that entire line is covered in note blocks. So you'd have to actually take a pipe to swim back down to the beginning and then start over.
Oh, that level's no fun without a tail. That level's just no fun in general. There's so many awful enemy sets you can draw for that.
So what you're saying is go back to start for that level, eh?
Yeah.
Huh. Monopoly effect.
Also, World 4 airship made easier with a tail. Don't have to do the P-speed strat.
I was gonna say, do not pass go, do not collect 200 rupees. Oh wait, wrong Fred randomizer.
I think it's coins in this case.
The other nice thing is that you don't have, because the auto-scrollers are off, you aren't sitting on this airship for 2 minutes. And that is not an exaggeration.
No, that is accurate. There's a reason why in marathons for the vanilla game they say, "Hello from the World 4 airship," and they call for donations to be read typically.
Now we're at the point of the game where I'm really looking for places to use items, where instead of waiting for a bad level to come up to skip, I'll actually just start using clouds and whatnot just on any old level that's convenient.
I am so glad that Macobra made that a little patch to the Fire Bros. So, up until very recently, there was a small hiccup with the Fire Bros when you would deal with them, because in the vanilla game, you can only find them in a single fight, hidden away in the Oasis of World 2, and because of where their location was, they didn't actually have a proper hitbox established for their feet, because it was expected you would never hit their feet. As a result of that, if you hit them like Raijas did on a block, half the time it would not register the hit on their hitbox because it doesn't expect you to hit them from below. And because of the fact that the Fire Bros have some of the worst hitboxes and some of the more annoying projectiles to hit, they've become pretty notorious among the randomizer groups. And thankfully, the recent change made it to where you will actually hit them from below and it'll work normally.
And that strategy of getting clipped through the spikes is unique to this flag set, specifically because of the time attack mode.
Yeah, the rotodiscs are a very stressful enemy to deal with.
Speaking of stressful levels...
Yep.
And a stressful situation to boot. 7-9 with a cheap.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go a bit against the grain and say that with the cheap, it's worse than with Boss Bass.
No, I agree.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. And this level is long, too. Get out of here, please! Paragoombas are some of the worst enemies in the game, I swear.
They really are, because they will fly through floors, blocks, etc., drop their micro Goombas on you, and then try and land on you. Heck, you could be trying to go for a jump and get picked off by a Paragoomba so easily.
It's because they start to take off as soon as they're on screen, and every other enemy type, if you know where the spawns are, you can jump over them. But if you try to jump over an enemy spawner where a Paragoomba winds up appearing, you're gonna run right into him.
Yep. And even worse, like, the Paragoombas themselves are already bad enough, but because they drop the little babies that can stun you from jumping, it makes it to where, like that Cheep Cheep, or if a boss passes there instead, it allows the other enemies a chance to come and get you, and you're not really able to fight back. It is just brutal.
Oh, there's another fort.
Oh.
So, there was 3 forts here.
There must have been everything on the right side.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but I gotta say it. So you're saying we got a fortnight on our hands? I'll see myself out.
Honestly, it's no more cheesy than half the stuff that's been coded into this game, so you get a pass. Not a battle pass, just a pass.
Oh man, I wanted that battle pass so bad, man. Gotta get my costumes somehow if the next Dragon Ball content's gonna be in there, eh?
Oh, you three are lovely. Some of these things I've heard are just tame compared to a few SMB3R commentators.
Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, hi Wendy, how are you doing today?
Yes, Wendy. Arguably the most annoying of the Koopa Kids to deal with, because of these rings.
I almost died.
Yeah, a ring can spawn right as you're trying to jump on her. If that happens, there really isn't a whole heck of a lot you can do.
Yeah. And because of the fact that the health and the attributes of the Koopa Kids are random, the worst possible thing you can deal with is a 5-hit Wendy with the earthquaking ability, because that, if she hits the ground and you're on it, you get stun locked, and that is an easy way for her to just immediately kill you off.
Oh, hey, it's elevator fort. I jumped too early!
Oh my goodness, Rai.
Okay, I have to say it. That's never happened before.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Les.
You tried to jump the elevator, and instead you jumped the gun.
That is mandatory, by the way. You are required to do that.
So the reason that works that way is because your height is basically like pixel perfect to the gap. So you're able to jump at 30 frames without losing any time or basically getting delayed or falling back into the platform.
Yeah, you can do 30 hertz jumping there. It's great.
And the way Raikou is able to pull that off so easily is because he's played a number of rhythm games.
Indeed.
Which one's percent?
Sorry?
Which rhythm games, out of curiosity? You've just gotten my interest.
I've dabbled in Dance Dance Revolution. I've dabbled in, like, 4-Key Mania, 7-Key Mania, Guitar Hero I've played before.
Oh, yeah.
I've played, what are some other ones? Quite a few.
That's awesome. That's awesome, honestly.
Speaking of awesome, that KO of that blooper.
Yeah, that
Yep.
blooper was
Saw that,
not
yeah.
being nice.
Dang.
Another awesome moment was being able to use that hammer on that rock. So, fun fact, in the vanilla gameplay, it does not allow you to do that even if you have a hammer, because that is World 1, and the game basically expects that you would not have a hammer that early in the game anyway. So, as a result, they never programmed that rock to be breakable.
Alright, we are making, I would say, okay time. This has been a bit of a long seed so far, but we are coming up to the final world, World 8, known as the Great Equalizer in the community. Fred Randos are notorious for having great equalizers at the very end of the run.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Zelda 1 rando, case in point.
Oh, hey, I can skip this level.
having a cloud is actually really nice for the item right there, given how useful it can be right here. But
That's
but yeah,
a lot of forts.
So we had mentioned earlier that the worlds are randomized, but the way the game is set, because of the way the randomizer is put in for it, the dark world here is always going to be the final world, no matter what happens.
100 coin fine if it's not clear.
Yep. Something tells me you weren't
Oh
gonna
wait,
be
this
going
isn't
for
7-6! Whatever, I'll just...
Well,
Whatever. This is probably still faster.
Probably. So yeah, this is 7-1. This is another one of the two. This is one of two stages. The other one we saw earlier being 7-6, where you're actually able to clip in the doorway and skip the entire level. And usually you're able to do it without too much trouble. The problem is with a tail, it is the subpixel perfect situation. And as a result of that, it is a lot more difficult. 7-6, you can actually P-Wing to go entirely over the level off-screen, but 7-1 has a full wall. You can't actually climb over it. You can't fly over it, rather.
Okay, this is just a level, but I have to complete this anyway.
So the reason Ryan has to complete this is because beyond here are 2 forts.
Yep. And the final screen, or the final valley, is also randomized, and it can have anywhere from 1 to 8, it can have anywhere from 0 to 8 obstacles, which is a combination of levels, blocks, and bridges.
Holy forts! There's 3 forts on the screen!
3 forts, and there's a lock right here.
Well, at the very least, that should, by logic, say that this will probably unlock that lock, if anything.
Well, there's one more fort where it could be. It's like 50-50 that this will open it.
True.
There could also just be a pipe on the other side. Oh, it did open. Okay, let's get these out of the way. I'm of the opinion that if you see forts in World 8, especially if you don't have locks accounted for yet, you should just play any fort that's in your way.
Agreed.
It's a good strategy.
Now, I don't remember, do you have any more hammers on hand, or no?
I can check, but I don't think I do. I'll take a look real quick. I do not.
Okay. And we found the Navy.
We did find the Navy. Shoutouts to Captain Jack.
But where is the rum gone?
I think Bowser took it.
Alright, so there's only one more fort outstanding. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out where it is and if we need to even do it at all. Well, there it is, but I don't want to do a level to get to it unless I know I have to. And if I do have to do it, I know where it is. Oh, never mind. We are home free. Alright. We are at the start of Bowser's Castle. This is the final stage. There's not a ton of randomization to this stage, thankfully. The last hall is a bit stressful because that has random elements, but there aren't a whole lot of elements in here that can be changed. Also, whenever you're... that clip is impossible whenever you're in Bowser's Castle and your opponent's not done.
Yeah, it's known as the everybody clip because everyone's able to do it. It's a ridiculously easy way to get into it. But yeah, when you're potentially first place, it becomes much more difficult to accomplish just because it's going to give you 100 times the stress.
Indeed. Also, the Bowser hitbox has been fixed too. Pogo, 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 pogo.
Okay, that was pretty good.
You never seen that before?
I think I might have done that once in a seed years ago, but it's been a while.
Oh, Bowser Pogo's so good. Get ready on time. I don't know why I jumped into that fireball, but whatever.
That's just to reduce the amount of time for counting down.
Clearly.
Every frame counts.
Boy, we know that
With
from
that.
races, but...
Oh,
yeah,
gosh, especially this past tournament.
Once we appear, it'll be... time.
GG.
GG, Rai.
I'll take that, considering the length of that seed. Also, Fred might have a mild obsession with airplane.
That's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. Because that is a good quote.
It is, and that's really all I have to say about this randomizer. If you want to play it yourself, we do have a Discord server. If you do a Google search for Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, there should be a GitHub, I think, that has it's either a GitHub or a Google code page that will come up. And we have a big community. I want to give some shout outs to a couple people that helped me get started. Human Mustard is one of them. He is one of the strongest players in the community. The Hacksaw is great to learn from. I could go on for a long time. Do you have any people you want to shout out, Demon and Les?
Demon, you first?
Honestly, I would definitely say, like, mostly the ones involved in the speed gaming community. So, like, Proa 007, Stewie Cartman. There's someone else I'm trying to remember. But, like, they're the ones that organize and run the annual randomizer tournament for this, which actually just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. And it is just a load of fun every time being able to play or watch the matches.
Absolutely, and if you liked what you saw, Speed Gaming on their YouTube channel has years of tournament footage for you to watch. This is one of the older randomizers. I want to say this one has been around since 2017 or 18, and we've had a tournament every single year.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds about right, as I want to say there's only a few of us that have been involved in each tournament, and I think I'm one of them somehow. But I digress. Anyway, I echo the shoutouts Demon Battler had, but I also want to shout out Sharky2107, who also has a lot of hype for the randomizer communities, also helps keep us going, also helps to keep us motivated to keep going. It's a lot of fun. The community's great. Definitely come by and check it out. We're a lot of fun and we love this game.
Absolutely, and I don't really have any more words. Tempest, take it away.
My pleasure, Rai. And I just want to say this was absolutely great. If only I could have been here just a little bit sooner, but you know what they say about technical difficulties? They love to strike you in the worst times possible. But again, special shout-outs to Kitsune for keeping things covered for that short little while. Of course, with that, we're going to take it back to an intermission, and you will hear me give my final words here from the hosting seat shortly. But everybody be sure to give Rai a follow. This was absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely considering giving this rando a try myself, if nothing else, because Fred randos are just that fun. And all things considered, what a great penultimate run for the day. But it doesn't stop here, y'all. You donated for it. We're gonna be coming up with it next. It'll be our man, CJ, with the secret run. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Speed Dogs, Sablade, and we'll be back.